Hey everyone, and welcome along to Battle Report number 4 for the channel. So this is another 2600 point game practice for the Falkirk free-for-all. I'm up against a Lizardmen opponent who I first played back at another tournament in October. He then went on to win the Scottish Masters, so quite a challenging opponent. He's also going to the Falkirk free-for-all, so this should be a good indication of how things are going to go. We'll see how my list does, and I don't have his army list as he doesn't want to give everything away. So we are playing along 2600 points. It's down at my local club, the Dumbarton War Games Club. I'll pop a link in the comment section below. Feel free to check us out. We've got a web page and we've also on Facebook. Feel free to join up or have a look. So let's go on my army list. I won't go through too in depth, but we have same again. We've got Hellbrawn, Supreme Sorceress, my Death Hag on BSB, Cauldron of Blood, Master on Dark Pegasus, 2 units of 5 Dark Riders, 30 Witch Elves, 30 Executioners, 3 Repeating Bolt Throwers, and 2 units of 5 Doomfire Warlocks. So this is just a quick picture before setup. As you can see, lots and lots of skinks. Not really too much I can do about that. We'll see how get on, but I can see myself being chaffed up quite a lot in this fight. So on to deployment. We are doing a modified dawn attack, one of the scenarios that will be in place. So once again, we've got a bit of a haphazard deployment in this one. On my right flank, I've got my 2 units of Dark Riders, 2 Repeating Bolt Throwers, and a unit of Doomfire Warlocks with my level 4 Sorceress. In the centre, I'll have my unit of 30 Witch Elves with Hellbrawn and the Cauldron of Blood, and then I've also got my unit of 30 Executioners. And on the left, I've got my other Bolt Thrower, my Master on Dark Peg, and another unit of 5 Doomfire Warlocks. Onto my opponent's deployment. So he has a unit of skirmishing skinks on the left, then 2 skink cohorts with, I think there's a shaman in each of those, I'm not 100% sure. In the centre he has another unit of skirmishing skinks, another skink cohort, he has an old blood out on his own there, and in a skirmishing unit at the back he has an old blood and his level 4 slan. And on his left flank, he has another 2 units of skirmishing skinks and a unit of 8 Croxigors. So, on to Vanguards then. And I just push up both units of Dark Riders and a unit of my Doomfire Warlocks on this side. My opponent doesn't steal first turn, so I get to go first. And here's how we go. So on the right flank, I'm moving up my Dark Riders, try and shoot off some of these skinks before they can do too much damage. Through the centre, I just push forward with my Cauldron of Blood and my Executioners. My Sorcerer's unit decides to stay at the back for the moment. I don't want the skinks going too far forward and loading them down with poisoned shots. And on this flank, my Master on Pegasus jumps up a little bit, and the Warlocks stay pretty much where they are. Into Magic phase, it's 7 on 4. I roll a channel, so it's 8 on 4. And this picture is of my opponent's channeling dice. He rolls 4 freaking 6s. So an 8-4 turns into an 8-8 Magic phase. I get off Soul Blight on a unit of skinks there, which I miscast and kill one of my Doomfire Warlocks. Not very happy about that, but what can you do? And the rest of my magic phase is shut down. Over here, Between my bolt throwers and my dart riders, I kill 4 skinks. I cause a panic test, and they run to the edge of the board. Unfortunately, nothing else panics. They run through the Croxagores, I believe, but they didn't cause any panic tests. And over here, it's on to the bottom of turn 1. You can see he moves up his skinks to take some shots at my Pegasus Rider there. His other skinks come forward, angle themselves a little better. I think they're going to take a few pot shots at my Doomfire Warlocks there, and his other unit reforms and moves across to get a better position. In the centre, he moves up another unit of skirmishers in front of my Dark Riders to try and chaff them up and block where they can go. Not too much movement. He swaps position of his Slan and his Old Blood around to better get the bubble of leadership, I think it was for. Not much other movement apart from that. Failed to say that the unit that ran failed to rally, so they ran straight off the board. And this other unit of skinks come up to take some more shots at my Dart Riders. And onto his magic phase. It's a 12 on 6 magic phase. My opponent's rolling lots of 6s. He casts Hand of Glory on these skinks, increasing their ballistic skill. He then gets off Arcane Unforging irresistibly onto Hellbrawn. No damage is done, but he does destroy the Death Sword, so no more strength 10 attacks for Hellbrawn. This spell I completely forgot about. I had nothing I could do anyway since he got it off irresistibly. But I'll need to remember that for the tournament. I forgot all about it. And it's bottom of 1, and I've lost out on the most damaging thing in my army. Over here we've got a picture of the spells that he swapped out. It's a Slan, so anytime he uses high magic he can swap it out for one from another lore. So he swaps out Hand of Glory and Arcane Unforging, gets Fireball and Phas Protection. Next slide, the skinks take some shots at my Doomfire Warlocks and kill another one. On this side, the Dark Riders take a wound to the skinks, and up here 2 Dark Riders die to the skinks. So, could have been worse. And we are then on to the top of turn 2. So I move my Dark Riders across into the forests. My other unit of Dark Riders move in behind the Croxagores and the Skinks. Cauldron of Blood and Executioners move up again, hoping to get a charge off at some point soon. All I really want to do is get in at the back lines. If I can kill that Slan and one of the Old Bloods, I think I've pretty much got this. Obviously before that happened, I had charged my Pegasus Rider into the flank of this unit, hoping to kill as many as I can within maybe I take a few turns, but should be able to get there. That prevents him shooting at my Doomfire Warlocks again next turn. On magic, I'm completely shut down again. Shooting doesn't do much, kills a few skinks, and in combat here he challenges my master with his unit champion. I can't decline, so I quickly kill him. He's steadfast and he sticks, which takes us on to the bottom of turn 2. So you can see the skinks move through here to take some shots at my Doomfire Warlocks and a Sorceress, which was probably quite silly of me. I didn't mean to do that. Let's try to stop that first turn. The Croxagores move up. The skinks on the back, what's left of those, turn around to fire at my 3 remaining Dark Riders. He sends a skink chieftain out of one of his units, I think, to block up my Witch Elves and redirect them over across that piece of terrain on the left, which was just difficult terrain, so don't really want my chariot running through that. Over here his Old Blood charged into the combat with my Pegasus Rider, so probably not going to survive that. And the skinks come round the other bit of terrain there and are probably going to fire at the rear of my warlocks. So magic this turn, there's not too much going on. Can't remember the exact numbers, but nothing of consequence happens. Into shooting, these 4 little skinks managed to kill off 2 of my Dark Riders. Don't lose any other warlocks at the other sides. Onto combat here. I do no wounds with my master. Then I take 2 wounds back. And then my Pegasus gets his attacks. And he does 1 wound with his attacks to the Old Blood. And a stomp does another wound. So that makes it he has a charge, 2 wounds. I have a flank and 2 wounds. He is steadfast with banner and rank. I lose combat by 2 and I flee. I don't get caught. So live to fight another day. Takes us on to the top of turn 3. You can see here I move my Dark Riders up out of the charge arc of those Croxigors, as I really don't want charged by those. My Witch Elves have charged into the skink that's sitting in front of them. You can't actually see them at the moment. And my Executioners come across to try and take care of this unit of skinks over here. At this side, my Pegasus Rider rallies, and my Doomfire Warlocks come across here, trying to get a shot in at the Slan's bunker over at the side there. Magic is terrible once again, and it's pretty much shut down, so I don't really get anything off. I've got to admit, the channeling rolls from my opponent were ridiculous. He had 3 channels from his Slan on 5 ups, and his 2 skink priests who channeled double 6s 4 times, I think, in this game. So my opponent's dice were hot, mine's not so much. I didn't do any real damage with magic at all, spoiler alert. But my shooting, I take off 6 skinks and they flee, just stopping in front of the terrain there. On this side, take a couple of shots at the Croxigors and I think I do 1 wound, failing to get anything off. After that, takes us on to the bottom of turn 3. Sorry, there was combat first, which my Witch Elves killed the Skink Chief and overran. They are sitting halfway in the difficult terrain there. Didn't take any wounds in the chariot, thankfully. The Old Blood in here tries to charge the flank of the Witch Elves, who are sitting where Helbron is on the right hand side of the unit there. But he fails his charge, needs a 4, rolls a 3. So he managed to block himself a little there. In the magic phase, he gets off Tempests, which kills off 10 of my Executioners. A full third of them, so that hurt a lot. The Skinks kill a couple of my Doomfire Warlocks over here, and they run away. Starting to get used to this, failing leadership 9s, but nothing much I can do. So into the shooting phase, and he managed to kill off my 3 Dark Riders between the combined shooting of the 2 units of cohorts there. If you can see there, he's also got another skink sitting in to redirect my Witch Elves again. So they're going around in circles at the moment. Over here, shooting kills about 8 of the Witch Elves, so not too much of a problem at the minute because they'll still kill anything they get into combat with, but still, he's getting the numbers down, he needs the points. Into combat, Old Blood takes out my Master. See him here standing on top of him, ready to, I'm sure, eat him or something. Which takes us to the top of turn 4. And a few things happen here. My Witches charge in, my Executioners charge in. My magic phase, once again, I get pretty much nothing off, so that was useless. Probably shouldn't have spent the points on a sorceress in this one, to be honest. In shooting phase, I kill off the last unit of skink skirmishers over there. In combat, I kill the skink chieftain. I need a 6 to overrun into the next unit, and I roll a 4. So I'm just sitting there ready to be shot at by those 2 units of cohorts. Over here, we kill most of the units of skinks. Wasn't many in base contact, so I killed 6. They fled. I reformed just in case the Croxigor's got any ideas. And that brings us onto the bottom of turn 4. There's literally not much movement. His skinks rally. He does a lot of shooting, kills a few witches, and moves some things across. Ah, yeah, he did kill off my other unit of Dark Riders that were up there trying to get an angle in on that unit at the back as well. A few of the witches that you can see that died. Lost 2 of the executioners, not much of a problem. Takes us to the top of turn 5, which my Doomfire Warlocks and Sorcerers charge into the rear of those skinks just to finish them off. My Witch Elves charge into the unit of skink cohorts here. So we should basically get rid of those. And this old blood that you can see in the picture, I then decide to take some shots at. With my bolt throwers, he's sitting out alone. All I need's a decent shot from my bolt throwers and we'll get him off the points. But no, this is the roll, a 1 and a 2, and yeah, so missed completely, useless again. Bolt throwers letting me down. So this picture just shows you how things looked at the end of the turn. Although I did kill those skinks, so this is just before the end of the turn. Killed those skinks, my executioners moved up, and that's how it looks going into the bottom of the combat, sorry. I do wipe out this unit of skinks, and I overrun right off the table edge. So when I come back on, it'll be my turn 6, and there's nothing else I can do with those, so they are useless for the rest of the game. As you can see, my Doomfire Warlocks killed the unit of skinks there, overran. They're out of the charge range of the Croxigors now. So on to the bottom of turn 5, he moves up his skink cohort to keep them away from his slan. His slan's unit moves away, and the Croxigor unit just reforms to see if they can charge in to the side of my warlock, my executioners, depending on what happens in turn 6. On to the magic phase. He rolls 4 more 6s. If you look across there, you can't quite make it out, but yeah, so this was another 12-6 magic phase. Suffices to say that hurt. He fires a Soul Quench across at my Doomfire Warlocks with my Sorceress, wiping out the unit and doing a wound to my Sorceress. Other than that, I don't think too much else happens, which was quite good. We come on to my turn 6 after that. My Witch Elves come on the board, ready to be shot by those skinks that were sitting waiting for them. I charge into the unit of skinks here with my executioners. Of course, I kill them, but my Sorceress has moved across just to get out of the line of sight. In hindsight, I should have moved her just as far away from everything as possible. Was hoping that in my turn I got off a Pit of Shades, maybe take out the unit of Croxigors or the old blood that's with them, or maybe scatter onto the slan and get lucky with the Lookout Sir. But while I have got her out of charge art there, she's still in range for other things. You'll see what I mean in a moment. As I said, this is the overrun from the executioners. Wipe them out, chase them down, and unfortunately not in a great position there. The Croxigors don't have too far a charge to get in, which takes us on to the bottom of turn 6. His Croxigors do declare a charge onto my executioners, who flee. They don't flee too far, but they are sitting 11 inches away, so he needs an 11. And of course, the way the dice rollings goes, he gets a 12. So he gets all the points, 405 points for that unit, just by rolling another set of 6s. Can't really complain. As I said, it was his dice were on fire, not much I could do. But yeah, in a game like this, it gets rather frustrating when your opponent's rolling really, really well and your dice just aren't doing anything you want them to. So just a picture of the Croxigors chasing down and catching my executioners when I've gone from the board. And yes, the stupidity that I was talking about, I have the sorceress here who gets soul quenched, 4d6 hits, which actually isn't too bad. She did 7 wounds. I needed to save 6 of them on my 4-up ward save. I saved 5, so taking 2 wounds. You can see the roll there. I didn't roll too badly the one time, but kills off my sorceress, which brings us to the end of the game. There's one more thing to do, just kill a few witch elves, and that's the end of the game. It's a victory for the Lizardmen. It's not too bad. It's a 12-8 victory. So that wasn't too bad. It's quite close points wise in the end. I think it was about just under 600 points. And the way the scoring system is, it's 0 to 200 is a draw, and every 200 after that's a point of a difference in victory. So it's quite difficult to get a 20-0 victory in this one. Yeah, it was a very good game, and only the second time I've played Hugh. The skink cloud is extremely annoying, so much chaff and redirectors, and it's very, very difficult to get into that slant at the back. So you never know, if I come up against him at the tournament, we'll see how it goes. But yeah, it's quite a difficult list to play against, and he did win the Scottish Masters with a list similar to this, I think. So he definitely knows what he's doing. He's a good player. So a 12-8 loss isn't too bad for me. Anyway, that's the end of this battle report. If you've got anything you'd like to say, pop it in the comments section as before. I will always get back to you. And I hope you enjoyed it. Subscribe and like, and we'll see you again next time. Thank you.